Hello and welcome back to Sprite Guard Plays OlliOlli 2. Welcome to Olliwood. I have been playing this game so much recently. I have just been loving it to death. And I've actually been playing it a lot on Twitch. I have been playing it live and working on, the other night I did a run that was just grinding to try and get 100%. True 100% in this game is extremely difficult. And that's something that I've been working on, but I have actually moved that save into a different folder and I have reset my save. I want to go through this game kind of from beginning to end and really engage with it, really explore it, because I love this game so much, and I've just been playing it in different ways and just finding it incredibly replayable. I have been speedrunning it quite a lot. Speedrunning just the first 50 levels out of, hang on, let me think, 25 levels, the first 25 levels out of 50, and getting the 125 stars that are on those levels. And I've been kind of working my way through the other levels as well, just trying to finish everything, and I'm just enjoying it so much. So let's head into, we have to play an unskippable tutorial, which I'm always really not a fan of, because I think that there's too many reasons why you might want to skip a tutorial. And I understand that in this game, you know, it's extraordinarily difficult, and there's a lot of stuff that you need to be taught. And so I'm okay with it. The tutorials are pretty simple, they're pretty easy, and they really do teach you the basics. And so I'm kind of not too unhappy with it compared to some of the other unskippable tutorials that I've played through. And it's relatively quick, but it's always been something I've kind of had an uneasy relationship with. It's something that I've always been a little bit not happy with. Oops. And I'm still working on the speedrun strategy for this tutorial in particular that I'm now referring to as the Pjatter's grind, because that's who I first saw using it, and you have to do non-perfect grinds there at very specific places. And I still haven't completely figured it out, but it is a cool trick, and I love cool tricks, little time saves like that. I just really enjoy them. So we have made it through the tutorial, that part of the tutorial at least. So advanced tricks, these are just moving the stick in circular motions, and they are kind of the heart and soul of this game, and you get some very complicated movements. So welcome to Olliwood, you've got the basics down, time to shred. So we're going to be going through the first world a little bit fast, because that is kind of what I've been working on, but not too fast, because Shoulda Known is just becoming one of my favorite songs. I mention this every time it comes on during my speed runs. I just love the heck out of this song. So we're gonna see if we can do this all in a single run without getting, because the hardest thing about this first level is not getting the sloppy landings. That's the only thing that can really go seriously wrong. But we completed our challenges, we unlocked a new level, we forgot to land 2 kickflips, so let's forget how to use the menu. So we are going to land 2 kickflips, there we go, and that was enough. So let us head now into the second level. And in this one, we need to pull 2 tail slide grinds, which I believe is up. I always kind of try to remember this stuff. And then we need a perfect grind, which is, I'm really getting to the point where I'm starting to feel like rad mode might be possible. And then we have the grind markers, and that is not the way that you do that. So there is a perfect grind. Let us pull a tail slide. I think that was a tail slide? I didn't actually see the name. Yep, tail slides, good. And this level, the only thing that you really have to worry about is accidentally hopping over these grind points, because they are a little bit strict. They're not anywhere near the strictest collectible in the game. They are probably the most lenient collectible in the game, but they are still, it's possible to miss them. And it's something that I struggle with. And of course, if you're just starting out with this game, you're going to struggle with landing. Landing is something that everybody who plays this is just finds incredibly frustrating. Some people find it too frustrating for them to enjoy the game. And one of the things that I really like about this game over the predecessor is that landing is more complicated. There are more different ways of landing, and it feels like a little bit more of a fully realized idea. But it's still, it's a really core concept in this game. And I read kind of an interesting article that was talking about how this game captured something about skateboarding that no other skating game, according to this author, had accomplished, and that was just realizing how important the landing is, because in actual skating, and I don't really know this from experience, I'm a fairly risk-averse person, and so I had a skateboard, and I never even really got to the point where I could stand up on it, and I didn't really understand at that age how practice worked, and especially how practicing sports worked. And I am just fumbling all over here. I still don't completely understand grind switches. I still have a lot of difficulty with just them randomly going wrong. I'm not sure why. It may have to do with letting go of part of the input. That seems like the most likely thing that I'm doing. Though I know that you can let go of some parts of the grind. Like, I know that you can change your grind position in order to do a different trick, and that actually becomes mandatory in some of the pro levels. Oh, we did not actually get a high enough score, so let's see if we can do that. And of course that's going to require doing tricks that are able to be done in the time and space allowed for them. So we can do some experimenting, like we can see, and another thing that will happen is I will have grind switches get eaten, and I don't know why exactly that happens, but that's something that we can kind of investigate a little bit further. And even though I'm playing this game so much to the point of speedrunning it, there's still stuff that I'm discovering. There's still stuff that I don't know. So now we are going to head into Los Limelight, which is the Robot Head, 3 Perfect Grinds, and movie tickets. So these are, again, a lot of things that are automatic for me because of how much I've been playing it, and the way that the more advanced stuff requires you to play in a very specific way. And so a lot of the stuff in this game becomes very automatic, especially in the early part. And I think they did a really good job of having the challenges actually really introduce you to concepts that are mandatory later on. And I'm not actually doing the experimenting I said I would. I'm still having actually the problem of not having grinds go through when I expect them to. And so we missed a movie ticket. That's actually where I have kind of the most chance for things to go wrong in this level, is the movie ticket, because everything else flows very naturally if you're just playing this level the way that you would play any of the endgame levels. And that will get us plenty of score, so now all we need is that, and then we need to make it to the end. So let's see if we can do that. There we go. And that gets us all of those. So now we get to the split, and this is one of the first levels with a secret on it. And so this is also, I believe, the last level, let's check, yes, of Olliwood Amateur. So probably the way I'm going to divide this up is basically breaking it down one world at a time, one difficulty at a time. Now this one actually, you have to do 3 perfect landings, which you can't actually combo them. They have to be complete landings, and so we'll just get that out of the way. And then we have to pick some stuff up, some collectibles, and that will get us pretty much everything. But we have to get up onto that higher rail, which is something that shouldn't be difficult for me at this point, but sometimes I get ahead of myself. I try to do things that are a little bit inappropriate to the situation, just because. Oh, there's our combo, and probably our score also. I didn't notice. So up here, grab those. And now what we want to do is we want to get a lot of speed. And we want to come through here and just ride these grinds, and then on this here we need a really long launch, and that was actually not long enough, and so I actually did not collect the things that I'd earned. I didn't get the achievement that I'd earned because I was so bent on getting that secret that I actually reset before I had gotten to the end and collected the 2 achievements that I had in fact earned. So let's see if we can earn those, and let's see if we can also get to the secret, because the secrets in this game are pretty cool, and I actually had to look up. Somebody did go through and show where all of the secrets were. There was one that I couldn't find when I was doing the and that's a sloppy landing as well, so we don't get that one. So we will have to try that again. You really need quite a lot of speed in order to get that grind. It's something that I still don't have completely consistent, and so even in the early levels that I find very easy, and I tend to speed run through, I try to, when I'm doing the speed runs, I really want to do all of this in one shot. I don't always do that though, because if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I tend to make quite a lot of mistakes and stop paying attention and not give things the respect that they actually deserve. So perfect grind there. Wanted to have a perfect landing there. Yeah, that's not quite there. And so we're just going to try again. And that's something, one of the things that I often say during my speed runs is this game so perfectly captures my love of repetition. I have a friend who will often say, repetition is fun is repetition is fun. And I think that's a very good way of putting it. I love the kind of the really comforting sorts of repetition where you're just doing things over and over and there's slight differences and you're just noticing those slight differences. So we landed on the grind, but we did not leave it early enough. But we got the achievement. So let's see if we can. I want to get this secret as kind of the last thing that we do before we call it a day, and then we will. I'm not sure whether I want to do like from beginning to end through amateur the way I do for my speedruns, or if I want to do 5 amateur levels and then 5 pro levels. And once we get into the pro levels, it may actually become that we need to start splitting these off a little bit. Fewer things, accomplishing fewer things in each episode, because some of the pro levels are still, I am not at a point where I'm able to do their challenges. And I will have good days and I will have bad days, and so we will have to work through that. So the organization is probably actually not going to be as clean as I kind of made it out to be at the start, but that's kind of, the thing that I always like to say is, it's never simple. I feel like that sentence applies to nearly everything that I ever do. And wanting things to be simple, I think, often creates more discomfort than it is worth. and it is never simple. And so we are going to play things by ear and see, how the learning process meshes with my desire to record shorter episodes, and my ability, the waxing and waning of just how I'm feeling. And we did not quite get the lunch that we needed there. I'm going to check the time, 15:16, so hopefully we will get this in not too long. And I'm just like so thoroughly enjoying every moment of playing this in a way that I really haven't experienced with very many games. Rocket League is actually one of the few games, and I have not done a video on it for a few reasons. One is that I don't want to, because I don't want to just be talking to you all the time and not be able to talk to my teammates. There's a lot of just banter between us, and also, planning out, deciding who's going to go where, and that's all very difficult. And then, all of my friends have different kinds of audio setups, and then when I do the solo queue, I actually get quite grumpy. That's the one part of the game where I am not completely enamored 100% of the time. And so much of the joy of that game is playing with my friends that I don't feel like I can do it in quite the way that I would want to do it for a video. And so I've never gotten around to making a Rocket League video, even though I've played it for about 70 hours now. I've been playing it almost every day for the last few weeks. And I just highly recommend checking it out. I'm probably going to record at least a little bit of it. I do want to do kind of a Game of the Year rundown. And it is really shaping up to be my Game of the Year. Everything about it is making me so happy. And I just did those jumps a little bit too wrong. But this is kind of at the same, it's very stiff competition with Rocket League. There's kind of a technicality of this game came out, I believe, last year on mobile, and then was only ported to PC this year. And so you could argue that this game didn't technically come out this year. I'm kind of facing the same thing with Hyper Rogue, is that it's actually, I think it's been around in some form or another since 2012. And it came to Steam this year, and it has updated so many times that it's kind of hard for me to remember that it didn't come out this year, just because there's been so much content for it released this year. And then there are other games that I was really sure were going to be my Game of the Year. So that's how you get up to the secret, and there are 10 of them in the game. And so we are going to be looking for those along the way. So I'm loving this game, and I'm really excited to be sharing it with you. It is so much fun. And there are so many other games that I've been enjoying. I described it to my friend recently. Well, not that recently, I don't even think, but I have totally lost track of time. The way I described it is, I have the gaming equivalent of feeling food stoned. Like, I feel so nourished by the games that are out right now, and this is one of the games that is most strongly nourishing me because of the focus on momentum and speed, and also on manual dexterity, which I really love, and precise timing, and how everything is very exact. I love getting things very exact, and I love repeating things over and over until I get them just right. That is really the joy of this game for me. So I hope that you will continue to join me as we work our way through this game. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.